You wear guilt. You wear guilt like a noose around your neck. There it hangs, just waiting to be yanked by me, and the tightening ligature around that slender neck will bring you back into line. I can then allow the noose to hang about your neck once again, ready to be used as soon as I decide that it is necessary. You do not even try to remove this noose. You would, of course, feel guilty if you tried to do so, and as a consequence, it will always remain with you, on you, and about you. There is no slow squeezing when this noose is called into action. It is immediate, painful, and chastising. It allows the sudden and instant exertion of control. What better way than to achieve this than relying on something that is intrinsic to another person? This noose burns, it constricts, and it chokes, and you know that it is not going to go anywhere. The only way to deal with it is to comply, and then the noose will slacken, but it will not grant you release. You have carried this noose for a very long time. Once upon a time it was only a few strands thick, yet for all that apparent fragility, it could not be cut nor broken, neither snapped or torn. As time went on, these strands multiplied, so that the thickness increased until now it hangs about you, sturdy and effective. Nobody else wove those additional strands into it. You did. You brought it all on yourself because of the twisted delight you have to wear this noose. You regard it as an obligation. It is part of who you are, and whilst the pain it causes you is something that you would prefer not to have to suffer, you know that when it makes you suffer, you gain comfort from its presence and effect. You know that not everybody has such a noose. There are those who do not even have one. You wonder often what that must be like, not to have the yoke about you which weighs you down, restricts you, and governs you. What must such freedom feel like? Then there are those who have such a noose, but they seem to be able to lift it off, and leave it behind when it suits them. Others still find that the noose is weak, and it snaps apart when it seeks to apply pressure against its wearer. Yet, there is no such release for you. This is the noose that has you always in a position of compliance. Sometimes you fight against it, hoping that you might perhaps once, just once, be able to exert such strength that causes it to break, but it never happens. No matter what resistance you exhibit, or how much you strain to tear it apart, you fail, and have no choice other than to comply so that the pain recedes. It leaves its mark about you. There is no doubt about it. Even though the searing pain may have lessened, you can feel that tight grip still, and you know that others can see where it has left its mark. Not all have this ability to recognize the mark of the noose, but a certain group do, and they always want to exploit its presence. Oh, there have been times when you have sought to hide this noose, to mask its presence in the hope that you escape the attention of those who recognize it. Even if you manage to conceal the noose, the mark that it has left about your neck is like an indelible stain. You cannot remove it, and it is the stamp that tells those who know these things that you carry such a noose. You may not realize that it is you who has added those additional strands over the years, causing the noose to thicken and strengthen. Those strands are bound together, layer upon layer, wound about one another, so that they become more than the sum of their parts. The strands which are fashioned from your pervasive, deep-seated guilt are added to because of those things which you say and do. Each time you think a certain way, which you cannot help but do because of who and what you are, another strand is added, then another, until soon the noose becomes thick and heavy. Each time you think the following: "It is my fault. I did not listen. I need to do more to help. He cannot help it. I need to ensure I understand. If only I could be stronger. If only I knew what to do. I should be getting home. He will wonder where I am. I should not be doing this. I should not speak ill of him, really. He is my husband. I should not think these things. I do love him. I just feel so weak, and this is when I have these thoughts. I ought to have realized. I must listen more. I have to keep trying. I owe it to him to help. He isn't as bad as people say. If I just keep going, it will become better. I have to try, because if I don't, who will be there for him? It is my duty. I made my vows, and I shall abide by them. I must be doing something wrong to make him feel like this. I just seem to say the wrong thing at the wrong time." These thoughts and words, plus many more, cause the noose to become stronger. Thus it tightens, and I yank it, pulling you in my direction, so that you remain under my control, bound by this guilt to serve, to support, and to fuel an ever-present burden which you add to yourself each and every day, a method by which you are manipulated, cajoled, and coerced to fulfill my needs. This noose is not there to hang you. No, there is no desire to bring about your demise. You are more effective to us, functioning. Your guilt will not bring about your end, but instead it acts to maintain your imprisonment. You make the noose grow. I make the noose control you. Can it be escaped? We think not. It is for life. Even though it may not tighten or constrict for some time, even years, it is always there, and with the mark so prominent, another may come and utilize the control that the noose affords, even though we may no longer be able to. We will not lift it. It matters too greatly to us. We will not lift it because it is your burden, perpetuated by you. But it can be lifted. It is not simple or straightforward, and we ensure we do not allow you the opportunity to address this chance to relieve yourself of this noose of guilt. It can be done. It is quite the task to achieve, but for you, that journey begins by answering one question: who put it there in the first place?